Thiago Alcantara. Oh my god, don't mind me, by the way. Don't mind me. Oh my god, I can't believe my eyes have just seen. What a day. What a day, guys. Hey guys, it's your boy Ojo Isame back again with another video. Today is my post-match analysis and player ratings for Liverpool 2, Chelsea 0. Yep, that is right. Yes, indeedy. Yeah, some players definitely weren't greedy today. Yeah, Liverpool managed to beat Chelsea, a team that has spent a lot of money, done their things, you know, contenders for the Premier League. And yeah, I'm going to give my post-match analysis and all of that. So first things first, let's talk about the lineup. A little bit about both, because again, Chelsea team I know a little bit more about than the other teams and stuff like that. Chelsea lineup, first of all, I was a little bit shocked, not going to lie. I was really expecting Callum Hudson-Odoi to play after the disaster class that Mason Mount had last time against us. I don't think he played well last time against us. And this time round, I just don't get why he played Callum Hudson-Odoi instead of him. But hey, I don't know. I don't decide. Lampard's obviously the right man for you guys. Keep him, yes please, and keep playing Mason Mount on left wing because Lampard's a racist. I've just come to the conclusion. But yeah, and the rest of the lineup was pretty good. I think, you know, you could make a case for maybe Tomori playing centre back, but I think for them, I think it was probably one of the best lineups they could probably put out with Pulisic out. But yeah, as I said, for me, it would have been Callum Hudson-Odoi instead of Mason Mount. But for Liverpool, a little bit worrying, not going to lie. Liverpool, obviously, Thiago not starting because he hasn't had the time to actually, you know, training, you know, come to grips with the team. So I understand why he wasn't going to start. I actually suspected Fabinho to play CDM at the start, but then there was news coming out that Matip and Gomez were left out. So that left the fourth choice option as Fabinho, which gave me a little bit of worries because Timo Werner, very quick. Fabinho isn't that. However, on the other hand, Fabinho hasn't put a bad performance in that centre-back. And I know, you know, there's a small sample size, but if you're, you know, Brighton was a perfect example, I think it was last season or 2 seasons ago. Bayern Munich 2 seasons ago as well, a fantastic performance there. I think maybe the only one that was a bit iffy was against Wolves, I believe. I believe against Wolves. That was the only time, and that was in the Cup, and he had Keanu Hoover playing alongside him, who at the time was 16 years of age. So again, that kind of made sense why, you know, the performance wasn't as good. But I wasn't too worried, but at the same time I was, due to Timo Werner's pace. However, that led to, for me, a very obvious midfield of Keita, Henderson, and Wijnaldum, because again, I didn't see Thiago starting today. If it was any other day, I would see Thiago starting ahead of any of them and him being the deepest line midfielder. Then we had the front three. You already know the business. Mane, Firmino, and Salah. Diogo Jota today couldn't actually, you know, couldn't play today or even feature because, again, he signed on a Saturday. Not enough time for him to actually, you know, count for this game week. But Sikimas was on the bench, which was also really good to see because, again, he had COVID, I'm pretty sure, and it was good to see him on the bench. Being back into full fitness and out of quarantine. But yeah, so getting into the game, first few minutes, again, it was a bit weird in my opinion. Sorry about the train, guys, but for me, it was a bit weird the way Chelsea set up in general. I think the midfield played very well in my opinion. I think N'Golo Conte had a brilliant game. I think for me, he was their standout midfielder. And one of their standout players in general, to be honest. But it was really weird the way Chelsea set up. They obviously didn't commit too many men forward, but it was weird. They were kind of being very passive in the way they were playing today. And that kind of just allowed Liverpool. They tried playing out the back. Liverpool pressed them. And the first real chance really came from a bit of an overhit pass, which goes across the goal. Kepa tries to run out to get to it. Salah beats him for pace. And then obviously tries to cross it into the middle, and then Firmino goes for the shot, and it sadly, it gets blocked out for a corner. There was a few other chances, but again, there wasn't many chances to really talk about in the game. You know, there was one deep cross from Henderson in the first half, I'm saying. Deep line cross from Henderson following pretty good interplay down the right-hand side with Mohamed Salah, Trent, and maybe Keita, I'm not too sure. But it was good play, gets played back, and then it goes into the back. So Robertson there doesn't get a clear enough connection, and it wasn't enough. There was also one which my stream kind of cut out a little bit, so I can't really go into depth with that one, but there was one where I literally just saw, I think it was Salah, tried to cut it back, but there was nobody in the box to actually go and get the ball. But then I think the turning point, again, Chelsea didn't really have that many chances. They were able to they tried to get a little bit in behind, especially down the left-hand side, their left-hand side where Timo Werner was, where Fabinho was vacated. And Fabinho did a brilliant job. He managed to keep him at bay, and, they couldn't really do much about it. But if I'm being honest, yeah. Kante was getting a lot of attacking positions. The main chance that they really had, especially in the first half and a lot of the game really, was the one from Timo Werner where he runs through the middle, there's a massive gap, and then he goes for a shot, he gets dragged wide. And and then apart from that, obviously there was a chance which was blatantly offside from the get-go. It was, a ball over the top, I think can't remember, I think it might have been Conte. Conte was doing a lot on that right-hand side for them, and the ball goes in behind to Kai Havertz, who was in an offside position. It goes into Timo Werner. I don't know whether he already knew that they were in an offside position, but he drags it wide. But that was really the only chances that Chelsea had. And Liverpool, they just seemed like they had control of the game. They were on the front foot. Chelsea were quite passive compared to the other times we played them. They were very passive in the way they played. I don't know whether they were scared of Liverpool this time around because they didn't have players fully fit. They didn't have their best team out. But it seemed like they were fairly, timid in the way they were playing against Liverpool today. And but then, the vital moment of the game, the only real time when actually Chelsea did decide to commit players forward, which was towards the end of the half, around the 45th minute, they decided to commit men forward. Alonso was up, Reece James was up, Jorginho was quite high up around the pitch, and they were left with two defenders. Alisson gets the ball, from, a misplaced pass and all that. Plays into Henderson, and I think the Chelsea defence, it was a little bit of, poor, I understood why it caused the chance what happened, but I think with them being so passive the whole game, when they actually had a chance to actually commit men forward, the whole shape just went. And you can see, because the two centre-backs were so separate, they were doing social distancing. That's the best way I can say it. They were doing social distancing, and it led, Henderson does a brilliantly weighted pass, and it goes straight into Mane. Mane tries to get the ball, and Christensen was feeling the love. Hits him with a nice hug / rugby tackle. Mane, no way he's able to get to the ball then, and Kepa clears it out. And a part of me thinks the reason Christensen did the rugby tackle was because Kepa's in goal and he can't trust him. And you could see that later on in the game. But just before halftime, initially the referee does go and give him a yellow card, which from the get-go, I personally thought it was a red card. I know Mane didn't get a touch on the ball, but personally I think if Christensen hadn't have rugby tackled him, with the pace that Mane has and the good control that he has, all Mane needs to do is just take a touch. That's all he had to do. If he takes a touch, he's either going around past the keeper or the keeper's fouling him, and then that's another red card. Which again, it probably may have been better just to get rid of Kepa than... But hey, I don't know. But then, obviously, VAR, again, this time around did a good job. I think yesterday they didn't cover themselves in the most glory, and today as well, the Tottenham game. They didn't cover themselves much in glory, but I thought personally it was the right decision. Obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan. You guys feel free to give your feelings down in the comment section below. And red card, and that was the most, that changed the game. Liverpool already dictating the tempo, but that changed the game. Red card, and nothing obviously happened. Halftime happened, and then a player gets stripped on. Yep. Thiago Alcantara. Oh my God, I was so happy, and I was hoping that Henderson was going to come off. I know he played a brilliant ball, but I was hoping Henderson was going to come off. And he does. And again, it wasn't that he was playing a bad game. I just think Klopp realised Chelsea are down to 10 men. If there's a perfect moment for Thiago to come in, dictate the play, and get a grasp of how Liverpool are going to play, because obviously Thiago's in Klopp's future plans. If that for me is the best place, because again, he's got more time on the ball. he can get, he's kind of like, when you first try on a shoe and it doesn't fit right, but then you kind of like wiggle into it and is, you don't get blisters as much, you don't get all of that. And that's what I felt like Klopp, and it's a weird analogy, but I feel like that's why Klopp decided to bring on Thiago then. Have 45 minutes of football where against a very good side, but with a bit more time than what would be expected. And that's why I think Thiago came on at half time. And it was a very smart play because from the get-go, and I don't want to say, oh, it was all Thiago, but at the same time, because you can also make the case, oh, it was because Chelsea were down to 10 men. But from the get-go, you could tell Liverpool, every single player was just looking for Thiago, just looking for him. He was like this, a metronome, just dictating the play. You know what? I'm calling him Franco. Bro, he was a dictator today. That's all he was doing. He was dictating. General Franco out here, dictating. So, yeah, it was mad. Thiago was, brilliant, just getting the ball, fizzing it across. And then that's how the first goal came about, really. Liverpool playing the ball back. Randy Robson get the ball, play it back to Thiago. And then Thiago, I believe, plays it to Trent. Trent then gives the ball to Firmino. Firmino gives the ball to Salah. In a nice little interplay, it was a nice little triangles and everything. Salah does a nice little left, sees the run for Firmino, which was very intelligent. Sees it, does a little cutback. Mane, similar to actually the goal that we scored 2 seasons ago against Chelsea, where Mane scored the header. Cuts it back, and then Firmino, instead of Henderson this time, Firmino does a nice little lofted cross, and Sadio Mane, free as hell, gets the header out of Kepa's reach, makes it 1-0. And then from there, I'm not going to lie to you, it looked like game over. Liverpool, the way they were pressing up, the fullbacks were high up the pitch, the pressing was amazing. Chelsea were trying to play out from the back, and they couldn't really do much. And then the second goal, again, I mean, it's no coincidence that literally when the goal happened, Fabrizio Romano basically confirmed that Edouard Mendy is going to be a Chelsea player, because what happened was, on the left-hand side, Mane had the ball, does a poor ball, it gets played back, and Mane very intelligently, to be fair to Mane, very intelligent. Firmino was there. Firmino pressed the left-hand side, which left the right-hand side open. And, the middle/right-hand side. Mane goes over, they kind of switch positions. Mane goes over to Kepa to press him. Kepa rushes it, hits it right in the middle. Mane anticipates it, and then it gets the ball off him. Takes a brilliant touch, by the way, because that's not an easy touch to do, and finishes it to make it 2-0, and that was game over. That was game over. Liverpool controlled the game, and that was it. But then, controlling it, we had loads of chances. There was loads. But then the decisive moment. And you guys can let me know if you think it was a penalty, but Timo Werner does brilliantly on the left-hand side, gets the ball, drives all the way across the goal. Thiago cuts across him, hands up like this, and Timo Werner goes down, and it's a penalty. Now, I didn't see that many replays, but from the replays I saw, and I didn't see a slow-mo version of it, but it looks like Thiago doesn't really touch him. It seems like Timo Werner actually, falls over on his own feet. Because again, he was going quite fast. He tried getting the shot off and he just fell over his own feet. However, I don't know if it was a penalty. Nevertheless, Timo Werner was onside whilst the pass was made. They checked that for VAR. And the penalty was taken. And if Thiago did foul him, I'm telling you, bro, his wavelength is different. You guys will be like, oh yeah, on his debut he conceded a penalty. Nah, different wavelength Thiago's on. Alright, let me explain. Alisson, I said this to my dad downstairs, like when we were watching it, I was saying, Alisson doesn't save penalties, yeah? Alisson doesn't save penalties. Not save one penalty for Liverpool. Community Shield, nothing, yeah? Last year, Community Shield, nothing. With penalties, the only penalty that Alisson's been in goal with that they've missed, was against City with Mahrez, and he hit it over the bar, so he didn't save it. So I was like, yeah, Jorginho, bro, he's the penalty meister. Yeah, Alisson don't save penalties, you know the deal. But Thiago, bro, he knew, because Alisson has been in the best of form, he knew that Alisson was going to save the penalty, and then boost his confidence. Liverpool keep a clean sheet, big brain maneuvers. Then yeah, Alisson, confidence boosted, as I mentioned before, and yeah, it was just brilliant from him. Afterwards, there was another chance from Timo Werner, I believe, on the left hand side. He tries to cut across and curl it around, and Alisson makes a good save again. And also, regarding the penalty, I forgot. See, De Gea, that's what you're supposed to do on penalties. Yeah, I know a lot of United fans were like, "Oh no, oh it's so unfair." I do agree, by the way, that Zaha shouldn't have taken it, but the rules. You got to keep your foot on the line, and that's how you save penalties. Alisson did it perfectly. 1 foot on the line, he jumped out with his other foot and saved the penalty. That's what you're supposed to do, and that's it. You know, I'm just saying. But as I was saying before, brilliant. And then towards the end, I mean, as I said, I can't stress it enough. Thiago was amazing. Not my man of the match though, because I'm going to get to that into a second. But Thiago was amazing. He was dictating the play, and we looked like a completely different team. We looked like a different animal. You know, we weren't just solely like Andy Robertson wasn't, and Trent. Like when we go out wide, they weren't just looking to cross the ball in. When the opportunity was right, they were crossing the ball in. But when it wasn't, they would just cut it back to Thiago and let him dictate the play. And the fact, I'm going to get into the player ratings, because let me just get into the last bit. Again, loads of chances were created. Mane, towards the end, had a very good chance where he, you know, takes a long shot from about 20, 30 yards out. He's like, yeah, screw it, it's Kepa, fam. Kepa can't save anything. Christensen has the same energy. And, you know, he gets the ball and Powell drives it low because, again, Kepa cannot save low shots. But this time around, Kepa does a good job, saves it low. And then towards the end, Salah does a brilliant play. It was Thiago that had the pass. Then the pass, I believe, goes to Mane. Mane to Salah. Salah with his back to work, turn towards goal. And then he turns Conte, shoots, takes a shot straight at Kepa, but Gini Wijnaldum fails to, you know, get his body posture right for the rebound. And that was the end of the game. As I said, Liverpool controlled the game. It was a very easy victory. It even felt like at times, I would probably say around 80 minutes, because then they did a slight spur on towards the end of the game. But it felt like straight after the penalty, Chelsea, the way they set up, they felt like they already had lost. Like they were, you know, I think Conte was basically playing right centre back. Reece James obviously right wing back. They had like 10 men behind the ball. It looked like they just wanted to go with damage control rather than, you know, trying to get back into the game and not, you know, concede goal difference or anything like that. They felt like that penalty there and Jorginho missing it just drained his confidence. But let's get into the player ratings now. Alisson, I'm going to say 9 out of 10, bro. Simple as. Alisson didn't do anything wrong. Was, you know, his quick decision making alongside with Jordan Henderson allowed him to, you know, allowed for Mane to get in behind and, you know, and Christensen to get sent off, which was a big point of the game. You guys let me know if you thought it was a red card, yes or no. Then another thing I thought, then Trent, as I said, I haven't said it before, but I thought the first few minutes, like the first 10-15 minutes, I thought the fullbacks weren't doing too well. The passing was a little bit off, but as soon as they started getting to the game, it was much better. Defensively, there was sound, and attack sound as well. I feel like with Robertson and Trent, you put them as pairs. So both of them for me, 8 out of 10. Robertson, by the way, shout out to Robertson. He floored Jorginho, by the way. That was disgusting. I'm just going to say it there. That was absolutely disgusting there from Jorginho. Van Dijk, solid performance. I don't think he had really much to do. I don't think he was actually our standout player today. So again, I'm going to solid performance, but nevertheless, 8 out of 10. Much better than when we played Leeds. Now, Fabinho. Round of applause. Man of the match performance for me. 100%. 10 out of 10 performance from Fabinho. First of all, the fact that he's our 4th choice centre-back gives me hope. If he plays like that, I told you before, Fabinho doesn't really play badly as a centre-back. I don't think he's really had any bad games, as I said, apart from Wolves. The fact that today he comes in against Chelsea, has a threat of a Timo Werner who is evidently faster than him. And you could tell that Timo Werner was trying to target that. Every single time Fabinho had the ball, and it was debatable on whether he could have passed it back to Alisson, Timo Werner was already looking for the run. He was very intelligent in that. There was times where, you know, especially I think in the first few minutes, Fabinho laid the groundwork. So he said, yeah, Timo, you ain't getting past today. Because there was one time Timo Werner tried to run past Fabinho. Fabinho just floored him and outmuscled him and let Alisson pick it up. And that was it. That there just set Fabinho's game up. He was everywhere today. If Trent had gone up, he was covering. If he was amazing. And, you know, if he had to push up at times, he would push up and foul, you know, not foul, but tackle him. And if he had to drive with the ball, he would drive with it. It was a brilliant performance. His all-round play was amazing. His decision-making was amazing. I cannot stress this enough. It was an amazing performance from Fabinho today. 10 out of 10. faultless. I cannot say anything that he did badly today. I'm being genuine serious. He was amazing. He was an absolute rock. It's crazy. He's been playing better as a centre back as a CDM. I don't get it. Henderson, again, decent game. Almost created a chance for Robertson. Robertson should have scored, but created a good chance for Robertson. Again, pretty decent. You know, he's passing well. There was a few murder balls that he did, but apart from that, he was brilliant. It was good. So again, another 8 out of 10. Keita, you guys know how much I like him, but I don't think it was his best game today. I still think he should have played on the left-hand side of the midfield instead of the right-hand side, but that's for another day. I don't think it was his best performance today. His passing sometimes was a bit off. He wasn't really being as adventurous as he normally is with his dribbling and passing, so that kind of knocks him a few points as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna say 6 out of 10 for Keita. You guys know how much I like him, so for me putting a 6 out of 10 says a lot. Then Wijnaldum, I thought he had a decent game. I'm gonna say for me 7 out of 10. Should have scored though. If he had scored a goal, I would have put him 8 out of 10 easy. But bro, he should have scored. He took a shot in the first half. It was awful. And towards the end, he should have scored. But overall, I thought it was good. As I said, Liverpool's pressing in general was amazing today, as I said. And Gini Wijnaldum was one of the main catalysts for the pressing as well, which was very, very good to see. And then the front three, Salah, I didn't think it was his best game, but he was still very influential. It wasn't streamlined Salah that I saw last week, but it was a very good performance nevertheless. So I'm going to say a solid 8 out of 10 again. Sadio Mane, 2 goals. First off, I thought it was a little bit quiet. He was getting into a lot of central positions. As I said, I prefer him out wide and Salah getting into more central positions. But when he did get into central position, you know, he did get Christensen sent off. So that does... I'm going to say 9.5 because I want to put, you know, Fabinho on the limelight today because he was amazing. So I'm going to say 9.5 for Mane. He was really good. 2 goals. Very well taken. Very smart. Very intelligent. And was, you know, had you on the edge of the seat. I was a little bit skeptical in the first half, but in the second half was so much better. The link-up play on the left-hand side, amazing. You guys already know the deal. Then Firmino got an assist. Brilliant assist as well, by the way. And, yeah, Firmino got an assist. Almost scored a goal because, obviously, with the chance that Salah had, it wasn't actually... You know, he was very close. It was a block away from actually getting a goal. I thought it was alright, but wasn't his best game, but he made a few smart runs, you know, good impressing situations and stuff like that. So I'm going to give him, again, another 8 out of 10. Then the bench. First of all, the first player to come onto the pitch, Don Thiago Alcantara. Oh my God, he's got me gashed, you know. He's, just to put this, the extent of what he's done, like, within 45 minutes is crazy. First of all, he barely misplaced a pass. He broke the record since Opta stats have come about of the most passes from a player that's played a maximum of 45 minutes. That's crazy. He made 75 passes, successful passes, I should say. He barely got dispossessed. He obviously gave away the penalty, but again, he was playing 7D chess because, you know, as I said, you know, giving Alisson confidence in that. You know, defensively, again, he was pretty sound. Pressing was very good. And as I said before, I thought it was a perfect game for him because I think Klopp mentioned in his interview afterwards, and this, I had to stop the video at some points, but I just heard that in the interview, he said what I said before about them being 10 men, and it was actually the perfect game for him. And Klopp basically said the same sentiment. And I was happy to see that. He was amazing. Can't say any more. For his first 45 minutes as a Premier League player, he looked like he's been there for ages. His passes looked slick. He looked like, you know, world-class players. You know, a player like that, like, you can tell he's world-class because he's just fit in to a totally different system with a totally different players all around him, and he just felt natural to him. And again, I can't stress it enough. So for me, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. He was influential, and I think this game just basically solidifies that he's going to be starting basically every single game. Then James Milner came on again, very good. He actually didn't foul that much. He actually brought a few good fouls. He was pretty good. The only thing that I would say, he basically started this trend of us taking short corners. It worked somewhat one time. It didn't really work the rest. I don't understand why he did that, but again, good performance, 7 out of 10. And then Minamino, not really much. You couldn't really say much. I was just happy to see him on, to be honest, because I like Taki. So yeah, I was very happy. You know, happy that he's getting a few more minutes under his belt and, you know, getting a bit more confidence. And he also seems like he's got somewhat of a friendship now with Thiago from the looks of things. So we'll see how that brews up. Obviously, both of them speaking German and whatnot. But Fabinho, masterclass, kept Timo quiet. Thiago makes a good, very good entrance for his debut. Yeah, can't say anymore. What a game. Liverpool, 6 points, 2 wins out of 2, clean sheet in the bag. If you feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel as well, that would be much appreciated. Thiago Alcantara. Oh my god, this season gonna be mad. We're winning the league, ladies and gentlemen. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, stay safe, and I hope you guys have a very nice day. See ya.